start, students. So this is going to be a couple different videos and different parts based on our screen printing project. With these, we're going to end up printing both our own creation, and we're also going to be printing something with fabric paint. If you so choose, if you do not wish to purchase fabric, a t-shirt, bag, whatever to print on, then you may do a second just screen design. It's up to you. So with this method, we are using the screen filler drawing fluid method, and that is with these two things here. The one with the blue is the drawing fluid, and one with the red is the screen filler. And this helps us create a print that has more detail and will hold up a lot longer than back when I tried to explain the ones with the contact paper. Contact paper totally works as an easy peasy type of deal, but with anything that has any sort of detailing, or if you want to use it with multiple colors and keep it going, it can be very difficult. So with this method, we can have lots of detail that we can use again and again as long as we need to. First off, with these screens, we have figured out through some trial and error that it has to be duct taped. I have some spare duct tape that I am dropping off at Montrose and McCook here in a little bit, but I used one strip. I cut it just a little bit short of the length of this and put it down. It's a lot easier if you put it on the flat back. It's like just a tiny bit in from the edge. It doesn't really matter how far into the screen you go. You just have to know that that's the only space you get to work with when you create your design. So yeah, but we got to put that duct tape on it. That makes a big difference on whether or not your screen picture turns out right. So please, please, please put that duct tape on there. I feel like they should hold up. You shouldn't have to replace the duct tape, but when you're cleaning it at the end, you have to use a special cleaner for getting off this lovely red stuff. And when you're scrubbing, if you're like digging into the duct tape, sure, that's going to come off. But I used duct tape with mine in college, and we never had to replace it. So you shouldn't have to. If it starts peeling up and getting water in there, well then of course you're going to have to replace it, but you shouldn't have to. I hope I don't need to tell you that duct tape can't be, you have to wait for the wood to dry before you try to put new duct tape on it. I hope that I don't have to tell you that, but just in case. So it needs to be done. Sorry, my computer's going off. It needs to have that duct tape on there. After this point, inside, everything is going to happen inward. It's not going to happen on that flat back. It's going to happen inside the frame. You're going to take a pencil and design whatever that might be, and you got to think of it as solid black and white, positive and negative space like we covered in Art Appreciation or Art 1. You got to think of it like a coloring book. What are you going to print? What kind of image? This is not something you can really create shading with unless you use, and forgive me if you don't know these terms, if you use cross-hatching or stippling. But I created one print like this Bambi here, and this is with paint. And when I created this, I did it as a coloring sheet. So just these parts, just these gold parts would be painted with the blue. You will use the blue first, the drawing fluid. This is the stuff. However you paint it on here, this is going to be your design, is with the drawing fluid. And you paint that on how you want it to be printed. Basically, you're multiplying what you painted. So I draw that on with a pencil, and I fill that in with a paintbrush. Any paintbrush will do, not the watercolor ones, but any acrylic ones, with the screen fluid, or the screen drawing fluid. It is a bright electric blue color, and when you paint it on, you do not want it to drip, you do not want it to run, and you don't want to put it on super thick. You just want to put a nice, neat layer on it. Any edges you have, if you have something that's round, or if you're, I know someone is doing a cat, anything like that, if you do not have those edges, for instance, with my Bambi, if I did not have those edges of the eye neat and very nicely painted, it would look fuzzy and wouldn't look like a crisp print. You want to get that painted neat and tidy and not have it drip. While that blue is drying, your screen needs to be raised up off of the table, because or else all of that drawing fluid or whatever you're putting on the screen will get all over the table and not stay at your screen. It needs to be slightly off of your table. You can use whatever is around the room that's the same size. I mean, here's some of the fabric ink. I can just do that. And while it's drying, it should always be held up too. And this is with all of these steps. This is the first step. Draw on your image and then fill it in with the screen drawing fluid, the blue stuff. Do that step first. After you're done with this, then we can move on to the next step, and I will send another video. So draw your image, pencil first, and then paint it in with this. All of them should be duct tape at this time, but if you need a duct tape, make sure that is the very first. Duct tape, draw it, fill it in with the blue stuff. Easy peasy. Of course, you need to wash out your brush. That should be common sense. And you should be good to go with creating your next print. Thanks, guys.